Oh my god, so the exam begins in 2 minutes and I'm actually gonna be late. Was not finished my slide until 20 minutes before. I have done no work. I'm just disappointed. I finished 4 chapters, still 10 more to go. I'm so tired. These are my last exams of pharmacy school. Literally about to break down. The anxiety is starting to kick. Oh my god. Surprisingly, I got a lot correct. Final clip of me in the green bathroom. Don't review something and it just so happens to be on the exam. We are done. Hi friends, it's Nathan, a third-year pharmacy student studying at the University of Waterloo. Welcome to channel, welcome back to my channel. It is our favorite time of the year again, college finals week. This is the series that I started when I first began pharmacy school and have continued it ever since. And this is actually my last academic semester before I move on to my clinical rotations. That means you would have officially seen every single exam I've ever taken in pharmacy school. And that is crazy to me. And I'm actually so thankful for you for joining this journey with me. It's not easy as students, but we go through it together. If this is your very first time on my channel seeing my series, this is a series that has gone viral many times. Essentially, I document the entire process. Me studying for finals, me taking my exams, then my immediate thoughts walking out of the exam hall, and then sharing my final reaction to my grades online for everyone to see. And I think this transparency is really important because it emphasizes the highs and lows of student life, but also the importance of not giving up, staying true to yourself, and be realistic as well. Like, I will just give you a spoiler alert. It's not me sleeping at 9 and then waking up at 7. It's a lot of the time sleeping at 1, waking up at 3, but you'll see it all this series. It's realistic, and I think that as students, it provides a lot of comfort knowing that we're all in this together. So now that we've got the basis down, let's tell you the timeline. So today is my final day of classes, which means that everything is due. And in classic Nathan fashion, I am very behind. I have a test on professional practice this afternoon, as well as a presentation pitch for my entrepreneurship class tonight. And to no surprise, I have not started studying, nor have I finished my slides. Are you guys surprised? Because I'm not. So it's gonna be a hectic day. I'm gonna kind of narrate everything and explain to you what I'm doing, as well as give you my study strategies, and let's just get to it. Last exam period, let's do this. There are 6 weeks of classes being covered on this test, from drug shortages all the way to negotiating minor ailments. So we're just gonna go through each one, which includes lectures, resources, and modules. I have to head back to Waterloo now, and it's a 2-hour drive from Toronto, and I'm gonna have to study in the car, and that means getting nauseous and motion sickness. I can't be the only one. Let me know in the comments if you also get car sick. I'm back in Waterloo, and surprisingly, I wasn't as car sick as I thought I was gonna be. I feel like it's just something with the colder air made it feel less stuffy, which is great, because the last thing I want to do is to be feeling nauseous and puke in front of the judges of my presentation. Speaking of the presentation, I changed into a smarter outfit just because I want to look professional, and even though I feel like a mess and I'm not prepared, I want to give the illusion that I have it all together. So this is what we're going with. And yeah, I'll give you more information about this presentation after we finish this test, one fire at a time, guys. We have a very busy day ahead of us, but before I begin studying, I actually have a Lingota language class to do. I've actually been learning Spanish because I graduate in August, and I want to do a bit of a grad trip to Spain, Madrid, Barcelona, really enjoy myself, and I need to know a bit of Spanish for that. I decided to take their sprint challenge. The Sprint Challenge is designed to help you learn a language quickly, effectively, and on a student budget. If you take 30 classes in 60 days, you can get 50% cash back, and I'm committed to it because I want that money back in my pocket for other spending, maybe on that trip. Or you can do 60 classes in 60 days and you'll still get that 50% cash back, but you'll be that much better in your language. And you know we love those quick and effective results here on this channel. So class is about to begin. I'm gonna join and I'll see you in a bit. Doctor, masculine, doctora, Feminine?
Sí, 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 vamos a ponerle aquí, por supuesto, claro, vamos a ponerle aquí.
Here's me in the class, and there's only 4 other students with me, so the class sizes are small, comfortable, and intimate. They also offer classes 24/7 with native speaking teachers, so I know I'm receiving high quality education that fits in my schedule.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Nathan. I talk about finding your motivator a lot on this channel, whether that's exams, future career goal, but in this context, is Lingoda's cashback reward because there is nothing more I want than that 50% cashback.
¿Y cuál es tu apellido?
Mi apellido es Wu. I also find it really encouraging when I interact with these students. I feel really comfortable, and trust me, I was not like this in the very beginning. I was so nervous, but as I do it more, as I build up the habit and do my classes every other day, I'm getting better and better, and in no time, I will be singing those Spanish songs fluently. And now that we're approaching the summer, I know a lot of us are going on trips, and if you are going to a different speaking country, or if you just want to add a new skill to your resume, check out Lingoda, enroll in their spring challenge. I will link them below, and you can use code NathanWu2024 for a discount. And with that, I know that when I'm going to be in Spain, I'm going to say, quiero comer paella. I want to eat paella. I'm going to say that all the time, and my belly will be full. I'm going to now pivot back into the studying.
My life, 'cause I just got into my 20s and I'm trying to figure this out. I don't want to waste my time alive. I need to learn what I care about. You talking about.
Oh my god, so the exam begins in 2 minutes and I'm actually going to be late because I still need to review something, and I still think that it's worth being late for the exam than to actually go in without reviewing something, so that's what I'm going to be doing. As you can see, I'm speaking very quickly. Okay. I know what I know. What I don't know, I'll try to figure it out. I feel like I should be confident because I practiced for long enough. A lot of it is common knowledge, or I can just kind of estimate, guesstimate. Okay, I'm like rambling. I'll see you guys after. I just finished the exam and I think it went all right. Like, there was definitely maybe like 5 questions that I was not sure about. Specifically, there was a lot on smoking cessation that I feel like we've never learned or ever covered before. There were things on pharmacology of it, which I'm pretty sure was not supposed to be tested, or things that were like in maybe extended readings, which I guess is fair game, but I don't know if anyone really does the readings. I don't always do the readings, so I feel like it's give or take. There was like one question on conjunctivitis, and it was like whether the conjunctivitis was viral or bacterial or allergic, and I felt like it was bacterial because the patient had no other viral symptoms. It was not itchy, no pus was coming out of the eye, so I was like, it has to be probably bacterial. That's what I put. I don't know, and it was a follow question, so if I put bacterial, it tells you what treatment to choose, and then I chose obviously antibiotic, so we'll see what happens with that. The rest was pretty straightforward. I think this was a good initiation to my exam period, and it gave me some confidence. Now I need to actually finish up my slides for this presentation. Now this presentation is for my entrepreneurship class, and I had to develop a new venture, a startup, and I'm pitching it to pretend investors, but they're not actually pretend investors because they are very reputable people in the industry and leaders and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be based on a competition, and the winner actually gets $5,000. I don't think I'm actually going to get the $5,000. Winners will be announced shortly after the presentations, but we'll see what happens. I don't even have my slides ready, so I don't know why I'm acting so nonchalant when I should really be doing my slides. So. Oh my god, guys. I just finished the presentation and it was absolutely horrifying. I was so nervous. I walked in and like, first of all, it's my professor who like says, they're ready for you. I'm like, okay. I'm like walking in, I'm like a mess. Like I have my jacket on one side, my laptop, like I'm holding my water bottle. Oh my god. So like I was getting set up and I'm so nervous. My heart just beating boom, boom, boom. And like I look out and there's like 10 people sitting in front of me. 9 of them are like dressed up in like suits and like they're all like business professionals, and then you have my professor on the other side, and it's like I'm like just taking deep breaths, like, Nathan, like it's okay, you're good at public speaking, fake it till you make it. So like I'm going through my presentation and like I'm messing up my words. Like I'm stumbling, I'm not able to articulate it properly, but then I kind of get into the groove of things and it's a little bit better. And then I finally wrap it up, and then I can show you like a few of my slides. I can't show you everything just because I have to keep this hidden because it's for a competition, but these are my last 2 slides. So how will I expand, and I will increase marketing and develop the product more. And then my ask is $100,000 for 10% equity. It's like Dragon's Den, essentially. I am pitching to investors. So once I give my pitch, they ask me questions. And like, I'm getting like bombarded with questions. I think I probably answered like 9 or 10 questions in total. Question after question, follow-up question, because I think they might have not been satisfied with my answers. And they asked this one question that made me realize that they didn't fully understand my product. I'm glad that I got to explain it and clarify things, but at the same time, did I not do a good job at explaining myself? Anyways, so I'm answering questions, and there was this one question that was such a good question that I couldn't even answer. I was like, why did I not think of this? Like, this basically pokes a hole in my business plan. And obviously I can't say that. So I basically just like, yeah, I just nod and smile and like say, yeah, no, I've accounted for that. Yeah, like that's not gonna be a problem in our finances. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, it's over. And they just poked a hole and we're sinking. No, I'm kidding, no. But overall, I think it was good. I think it was all right. I feel like I explained that way for everything. See how it goes. I'm currently still at school and I have to go back to just give a bow and they'll announce winners. I want to stay hopeful. Again, I don't know what the other business ideas are of my classmates. I feel like mine's a solid idea. We'll just see how it goes, how it sits with them. I'm impressed at my ability to pull this together. I literally was not finished my slides until 20 minutes before. Practiced it for the first time 10 minutes before. And gave a coherent speech. So we'll see what happens, but that's life as a student. I am finally home. It is 9:30. This class usually ends at 7:30, but because there's presentations and then the judges have to choose a winner, it went overtime by a lot. But I'm happy to announce that I'm not the winner. So I did not win the $5,000 cash prize. However, one of the startup founders there actually said that my idea was in line with one of the ideas that he explored, which is kind of neat. Obviously, he didn't choose it for a reason, but I feel like that does deserve some credit. There's substance, so I'm happy that this wasn't just like a willy-nilly idea that has no potential. But yeah, I'm gonna quickly eat some dinner and then I'm gonna head to bed because tomorrow we gotta start preparing for Friday's exam, which is therapeutics, all about cannabis and substance use disorders. So much weight is lifted. 2 finals done, 2 more to go. My mom packed this for me, so we got soy chicken, spicy fried cauliflower, and rice. I am so tired. It is now midnight, and do you guys ever like are so tired that you don't want to sleep? Like, does that make sense? Like, when you're so tired that everything becomes so slow, like you're too tired to brush your teeth, you're too tired to do your skincare, and then it actually just prolongs the time you go to bed. Yeah, because that's me right now. But I am really all good to sleep, so I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm gonna wake up yet, probably 7. I think 7 hours will be good because I can't be sleeping in. I have so much work to do tomorrow, so I will see you after a good night rest. Finally it stopped. Good night. Well, last night wasn't pleasant. Okay. Let's get up. We got a lot to do today.
Habits, new places, things you wanna try, things that you could have done over 52.
Good morning. I was so tired this morning, obviously because the fire alarm woke me up in the middle of the night, but the coffee is working and I'm starting to feel a little bit more energized, so we're just gonna keep with it. I need to finish up some content this morning, so I need to finish a TikTok as well as edit a YouTube video. I want to cap this by the afternoon, and then once that's done, I can begin studying for this exam on Friday. So let's quickly make some content, because full-time student, full-time creator.
No, I never let this happen to me.
When it's 1 p.m. and you set limits for yourself, so one of the limits is not eating until you finish editing, and therefore I'm eating a banana to hold me off until a late lunch. Finally done! You're really gonna enjoy the video. It is an essay crisis, which I haven't done in a year, but I write a paper in 4 hours. I will link that above here. High intensity, high stress, but you guys love it. So now let's eat. You guys know my mom's ready packed meals are an essentials. It's literally just frozen bolognese sauce. She packed it for me. I keep it in my freezer, pop it out, then cook the pasta, and we have a meal. I am so mad at myself because for the past 4 hours, I have done no work. I don't know what is wrong with me. I just can't seem to get into the groove and get into that pace of studying. And I feel like it's because I just wrote an exam and just did my presentation, so much weight has been lifted and I no longer feel stressed or anxious about my exams, which is not good because I rely on adrenaline and stress to keep me going. That's how I really study for such long periods, because I have that desire to succeed. I need to pass my exams. And so I'm gonna try to channel that, even though it's kind of a negative motivator, it's still a motivator, and I always say whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you to study, whatever gets you the results. So we are just going to channel the stress, channel the adrenaline, and get some work done. It is now 8:30, and this exam on Friday is therapeutic, so it'll be covering cannabis use, alcohol use disorder, and opioid use disorder. Cannabis use, I will go through that tomorrow morning, and I'm going to explain how I'm going to run through that because it's a little bit of a different format how it was taught. But tonight I need to make 2 Anki decks, one for alcohol use therapeutics and the other for opioid use therapeutics. There is around, I think, like 80 slides in total for me to go through between the two. I'm confident I will get this done. I have to get this done or else I'm not going to bed. I'm setting hard deadlines for myself, so let's run the time lapse. Y'all already know image occlusion for my Anki cards. If you don't know my technique, then click this video here. It's an Anki tutorial on how I make 1 card per minute and how I memorize in 2 days.
I'm Galileo, experimental, making mistakes is so essential. That's how I make sure that I'll find the right path for me. You talking about new habits.
I'm gonna call it a night. I didn't get to finish making my opioid use Anki cards, but it's okay because we're just gonna do that tomorrow morning. And truthfully, I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed, but at the same time, I know that there was a lot of circumstances that were out of my control. I didn't have a good sleep last night, and I can function on little sleep as long as the quality is okay. But obviously last night, the quality was not, and so I'm gonna make it up with this sleep. I'm gonna probably sleep like 6 hours. It's almost 12. So if I wake up at 6 and those are full 6 hours, undisrupted sleep, I'll be good to rock and roll tomorrow. So I'll tell you the plan as we go, and I will see you tomorrow. We are almost there. We're 50%. The trick is to pretend like you're not tired and trick. That's great. Here we go. The day before the exam. Let's get ready.
He shoves me in a locker and picks you up right after school.
We got some fresh snow this morning.
Yeah, he can catch a football. Guess that makes him a catch to you.
We got some snow this morning, so that's nice. But it also is really cold. And I'm gonna treat this as a wake up. You know, coffee works wonders, but so does the cold. You guys will not believe how long I've spent walking around this building just looking for a study spot. I finally found one. You guys have seen this before. I really enjoy this place. It's open concept. There's a place for me to actually sit down and do work. I can also stand. There's a view, which is very important just to cure the exam depression. but we really need to get going. So I'm gonna start by finishing up making my Anki cards for opioid use disorder. And then from there, we just need to go full force into active recall and review. So let's go, guys.
Oh, I don't understand how you're still handing him your crown while he only brings you down. Yeah, I know I don't have a chance, but
I am finished making all of my Anki cards. To be honest, there's not much to say about opioid use disorders. I have been taking an elective that just focuses on substance use disorders, so this is a lot of review. However, that elective was really focused on thought-provoking ideas, so questions, discussions, versus this is just knowledge-based. Do you know it or not? I really hope the professor does not make it harder than it needs to be. This really is our last therapeutics exam ever, so just go easy on us, please. Okay, I'm gonna eat, and then after that, I will explain the process that I'm gonna be studying for the cannabis content because it is a little bit different. This is going to be the game plan for cannabis content. So rather than a lecture, our professor gave us a top hat module that we had to work through. And as you can see, there are 14 chapters to go through. I'm basically just going to read through these chapters and then on a separate Word document, write down notes that I need to remember, and that will be reviewed tomorrow morning. I want to make a point about my technique of reading to study because there's a common misconception that reading is not effective, that you'll just forget it. And that's not necessarily true because you've seen me on this channel read through things and still do very well, even if it's 30 minutes before the exam. And that's because I read very active and very strategically. So when you're reading a text, for example, you will see something important. Read through it twice. Really make sure you're understanding every single word. Make connections. So if thought A relates to thought B, compare and contrast them. Or use acronyms. So just really involve your brain so you're not in that passive state. The more active your brain is when reading, the more you'll remember it. I'm going for a bathroom break. I finished 4 chapters, still 10 more to go, but there are now people in my room as well, so hopefully that'll just give me more motivation to stay on task, seeing that everyone else is focused. We are done 4 out of the 14 chapters, and just to keep my head in the game, I'm now eating some gummies. Every single subsection I finish will reward me with 1 gummy.
I see you in the hallway, but I'm too shy to say hello.
I'm so tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. It is dark outside. It's 5 p.m. It's a little bit cold in here, but I have to finish this before I go home. I'm not leaving until it's done. So I'm gonna take a walk and then I'll be back for chapter 9, adverse effects. I'm just sitting on a bench here outside. I just had to get out of that room for a second. I really underestimated how long this module would take. I thought it would take like 3 hours maximum. We're currently at 4 hours and we're still not done. I have like 4 more chapters. Hopefully they're short ones. But yeah. I'm gonna go post something on Instagram and TikTok, and then after that I will get back to it. I don't know if I'm gonna film another time. I really just want to get this over and done with, so I'll probably see you after I'm done. I'll insert little clips in about how I'm feeling because it's definitely getting dark and depressing. It is what it is. We're so close though. Okay, update. We have finished 10 chapters, which means we only have 4 more to go. And I posted something on Instagram and TikTok. If you're not following me, definitely go check it out. I think I'm probably gonna go home now. I'm hungry. It's very dark. It's like 8 p.m. now. And I'm probably gonna do the last few chapters just in bed, cozied. I don't wanna make this any more stressful than it needs to be. So sometimes I will endorse doing some studying in bed. But yeah, also This is a new sweater that I got from Peace Collective. It says Better Together. And I think it's so cute just because the student community that we've created, we really are better together. Going through exams together, going through the struggles together. You guys have asked me a few times where I get my sweaters from, so I will link them below and you can use code NathanWu10 for 10% off. Let's head home. Just my luck, the bus is here so I don't have to walk. For dinner I have beef and tomato stew with rice, and I'm starting a new show. This is My Life with the Walter Boys. Also, when I eat, I have to put a napkin because I'm so clumsy and messy that everything always splashes on my clothes. I've changed, I brushed my teeth, so I'm gonna do the last few readings in bed here. And yeah, we're just gonna try to get this done because I don't want to spend any longer on this. I feel like I know so much about cannabis. That's all I've been looking at today. I just want to be done.
You don't understand that he's never gonna change. Cause to him you're just a game. Could I just have a chance?
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the reason why every time I walk out the door I see him die a little more inside. I see myself dying a little more inside. I'm like going crazy. I have 2 more chapters to do and I'm so tired, but in some way that singing made me a little bit more energized. So guys, I've never felt this way before. I've never been so cavalier about an exam. And I think it's probably just because I'm like spent. I have no more fuel left in me. These are my last exams of pharmacy school. I just need to get through it. I can't do this. I'm literally about to break down. I'm gonna go to bed and I'll finish up the last chapter. I just have 1 more to go tomorrow while I eat breakfast, and we'll do everything else as well tomorrow morning. Luckily my exam starts at 12:30, so I have time. It's not an 8:30 exam, thank God. So we still have time. We can do this. Good night.
Wish I could wear my feelings on my sleeve then. Give you my jacket when your heart is freezing.
Good morning. As you can see, I am so much better than I was last night. 2 different types of people in the camera here, Night Nathan versus Morning Nathan. I am just reminded that I will always be a morning person, especially during exams. Like, if something isn't working out, it's probably because I'm exhausted and tired and stressed. Better to sleep and then start new and fresh in the morning. And that's what this is. So if you're not a morning person, I highly recommend you just try giving it an attempt, because scientifically it is more beneficial, but also I understand that everyone has their own schedule and their own routines. I might do like a video on how to become a morning person. I really am passionate about that, obviously. But yeah, okay, enough talking. We have 3 hours before this exam and we still have so much to do. I need to finish up my last 2 chapter readings for cannabis use. I'm gonna quickly get that done and then I'll see you after. We are done cannabis use. I am so happy. I'm so joyous just because I've been staring at this module for the past 24 hours. I'm currently just walking around this room to get some blood flowing and to wake myself up. But now we need to go to alcohol use and opioid use therapeutics. Now you guys saw me make my Anki cards for this. However, I don't have the time to do active recall. And that is okay because I've seen the content before, you know, through my elective, but also through making the cards. So I'm just gonna review it very intentionally, making sure that I remember those key points, those dosages, those algorithms, things that might be forgotten. So like those just numerical stuff. And then we will continue on. I feel like this is doable. I really do. I'm really hopeful. Maybe too hopeful, but we'll see. Cage. So cage is cut down, annoyed, guilty, eye opener. we're finished reviewing those Anki cards, and obviously the anxiety is starting to kick. I have an hour before this exam. Actually, honestly, 45 minutes at this point. So I'm now gonna go to the bathroom because I've been holding in my pee, and I'm going to go over pharmacology and some questions on the train.
You're more than a trophy, just a
Okay, last therapeutics exam of pharmacy school. The intensity just kicked up from 0 to 100. I feel it in my blood. I feel good. And whatever happens, happens. Let's just end this one off with a bang. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. That exam was long and tough, and I think a migraine is coming on. Like, halfway through, so there was 100 questions total, and halfway through I was getting so tired, like my brain could not function. And then I continued doing it, and it's like, some of this is actually pretty tough. Like, it's so nitty-gritty, and there were statistics on it. A little bit uniquely, I have to get at least 70% on the cannabis content in order to get my cannabis certificate. And that's why there was such a big emphasis on cannabis. That is a little bit concerning because I feel like there was a lot of cannabis questions where I just kind of guessed. There was like regulation questions, so, you know, what act passed this law, or like what rule or standard comes from this statute or regulation or whatever. It was a lot of that. And definitely some of the opioid questions were pretty tricky. We gotta go review my notes and just see, hopefully. Oh my god, there were so many ones where I was just like thinking in my head, and I was like, is it A or is it B or is it C? I just finished reviewing my notes, and surprisingly, I got a lot correct. Like, I went with my intuition and I changed things last minute, and it actually paid off, because a lot of the times it doesn't, and you should always go with your first initial thought. But I had extra time, so I was like, okay, you know, I'll look back at it. And I tried to like do the memory trick where I close my eyes and try to envision the actual top hat textbook or my lecture slides and just really try to remember what is on the screen there. And it worked. So overall, a lot of the ones that I was second guessing were right. There were definitely ones that of course, I got wrong. And there was this one particular medchem question, and I didn't really study at medchem at all. Luckily, there was only one question, I think. And it was like, oh, what is the active metabolite of naltrexone? And one of the options was naltrexol. And I was like, you know what? That's way too easy. There's no way it can actually be naltrexol. So I choose something else. I look at my notes, and it is naltrexol. Sometimes like you overthink, and then you think the obvious answer is actually not the right answer when it really is. Maybe they're trying to give us the point, but then again, professors aren't always like that. I feel like that's the benefit of the doubt. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I just have to figure out, you know, how I did on the cannabis content. That's my only concern, because I can still pass the exam and pass the class without passing the cannabis module and getting the certificate. But yeah, that was my PFC exam, my last therapeutics exam ever. You guys have been with me for 8 therapeutic exams. Wow. Just let that settle in. Whew. Okay, so we have one more exam left, which is my OSCE, and that is on Thursday. So that gives us basically like 5 days. Long time no see. It has been 4 days since I last went on the camera, so let's do a rewind and explain what has happened since then. Essentially, after my Friday exam, my parents came to pick me up so that we could begin moving my things out of Waterloo. And we are halfway through that. We decided to make it into 2 trips just because we had 1 car to work with. And then I'm now in Toronto, back in my bedroom, and I have basically been doing everything but studying. I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys. I have been running errands, I've been finishing up content projects, I have been planning my trip, and essentially I just needed a break. I needed a productive break, which it was, but now we gotta get back into it because my last exam is tomorrow. So let's talk about what this exam is. It is my milestone OSCE, and I need to pass this to get my degree. So it is a little bit of a high stakes. Essentially, it's very cumulative. So it takes into account everything that we've learned since the beginning of pharmacy school and puts it as an objective structured clinical exam. Now, these are practical exams where I role play as the pharmacist or pharmacy student, and I have a standardized patient who is an actor. They present a scenario, and within 7 minutes, I have to solve the clinical problem. And these are tough and intense and stressful. And in the past, I don't do the best on them just because my nerves get in the way, and it's hard because the answer is not fully given to you, right? You have to use your problem-solving skills. You have to probe and you have to ask questions, and sometimes it's not very clear. I just want to stay lighthearted because it's my last exam, but at the same time, I know it's going to be tough, and I just kind of have to go into it with the best preparation I can. Now, how am I going to prepare for this? There are 8 stations, 7 that are clinical, and then 1 rest. So the 7 stations are a healthcare practitioner interaction, counseling on an over-the-counter drug, refill, new prescription, variable, which says it could be ambulatory care or something else, then documentation, and then rest. So that's the game plan. The game plan is I'm going to review all the therapeutics content that I've covered this semester because that is going to be a large focus. That'll be neurology and psychiatry. And then I'm also going to review my past labs, so look at the rubrics, and we've done a lot of practice OSCE, so look at my feedback, look at my comments, and just do a lot of role play, a lot of getting comfortable with how I'm asking questions, getting comfortable with looking through resources, that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's begin. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I recently upgraded my desk setup. So I thought I would show you a desk tour. We have the FlexiSpot C7 ergonomic office chair. And then we have the FlexiSpot E7 premium standing desk. I'll link FlexiSpot down in the description box, and you can use code TikTok30 for $30 off. Back in Waterloo. It is so cold today. It is -2 degrees Celsius or 28 degrees Fahrenheit. And when I was walking back, I was just getting a beating by the wind. But now we have to do the most important part of the studying, which is going through past cases. This is going to be the most important and most helpful thing for me to do well. Over the term, we've been doing a lot of practice runs with groups, and so I'm gonna go through those cases, look at the rubrics, and really follow those guidelines so that I know what to hit on during the actual OSCE to get the points. Actually, let me just show you my method. Here is the case. I'm gonna read through it and then using my resources, try to figure out the answer. Now, I'm probably using either CPS or LexiComp. If you guys know, you know. And then try to figure out what the answer is. Once I figure out the answer, or if I can't figure out the answer, I will go back to here and then look at the rubric and see what I missed and also see how I should guide my interaction. So this is basically the order. You want to start with the assessment of refill, then you got to look at the symptoms and ask about health history, is it indicated effective, and then obviously your identification and intervention. I think I have like 15 cases to go through, and this will probably take me the rest of the night. So I'm just gonna work through them calmly, composed, and really just try to enjoy it as much as I can because this is my very last exam of pharmacy school.
And it's a few years later now, but that feeling is still stuck with me. The water's frozen over by the lakeside, down by the boathouse we used to dance.
Bulgogi and corn rice bowl, and then life with the Walter boys. I'm getting so distracted. I have 3 more cases left, and I've just been checking TikTok after each one. In 14 hours, I will be done. And it's not gonna be a crazy night or morning. I promise you, this one is gonna be a normal exam. Hopefully, as normal as I can be. It's time for bed. It is midnight now, and I still have a few more things that I want to review tomorrow morning, which I will do. I have an ample amount of time because my exam's at noon. So I'm gonna go to bed, probably gonna wake up at like 7 if it's noon. Yeah, that'll be enough. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ignore the fact that I'm literally wearing the exact same thing as I wore yesterday, but I forgot my towel, so I've resorted to using my pillowcase as my towel to dry my hair. Student life exam season is rough. This morning has been the most unhinged, and it gets even worse because, well, maybe not worse, maybe better, because I'm now eating pizza at 8 a.m. for breakfast because that's what's left in my fridge and it smells amazing, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm feeling scared, 'cause I know that we'll never get that time again. We used to drive out to the farm and play around makeup till your hair was gray. I still pretend it feels the same. Remember, we stay up on Saturday.
There is an hour before this OSCE, and I've gone through all the frameworks. I know how to structure my interactions. I didn't go through specifically my notes regarding therapeutics because it is cumulative. It doesn't make sense for me to go through everything since the beginning of pharmacy school. However, I probably will just look over some things in neurology just to freshen up my mind on them. I just need to stay calm and composed. I have a tendency to get really overwhelmed, and then once one station goes badly, the next stations also go badly because I'm constantly thinking and catastrophizing. So I just need to stay calm and composed. Each station is its own thing. So I just gotta remember that because that's my greatest flaw whenever it comes to OSCEs. Okay, 10 minutes before this OSCE, and I thought I would put on my white coat together. This is a monumental moment, and I know I'm being dramatic, but I am dramatic, as you can tell. This is my last exam of pharmacy school. I have my water, a pen, and my calculator. Whew, okay, let's go talk to some patients. I had to include a final clip of me in the green bathroom. If you guys have been with me since the beginning, you know that the very first exam I came in here and I told you my fears and anxieties, and then I told you how I felt afterwards. It only makes sense to go full circle. So I will see you guys after my final OSCE, my final exam of pharmacy school. And also, thank you guys for always supporting me. We've really gone through this whole journey together. We are done. Before I even get into this OSCE, because a lot happened, I just wanted to take a second to just acknowledge that I am done all my exams of pharmacy school. You guys have been with me for so long, and you guys have been with me through every single exam. And that was the last one. So before I even start to analyze and catastrophize and feel annoyed at myself for mistakes, I want to first feel proud of what I accomplished. Now that we acknowledge that, let's go into the catastrophizing. So out of the 7 stations, clinical stations, I would say there were probably like 2 that I think I messed up on. There was one where it was an interaction with a healthcare provider and they wanted the pharmacist's opinion on something. I have to keep it vague just because it is very tightly regulated. And I said that there was a problem. So I made an intervention, but some people said there wasn't a problem. So now I'm like super scared. And even when I saw the topic, I was like, are you kidding me? I had the feeling of reviewing it, but I never ended up reviewing it. And it like just so happens, it's always your luck that you don't review something and it just so happens to be on the exam. So that's great. And that was my first station. So it didn't feel too great in the beginning. And then the second one, over-the-counter counseling, I thought I did well on that one. Very coherent. Again, there were some mixed opinions about it, but overall, I think it went pretty good on my end. And then the third one went well. Fourth one also went well. These were counseling on prescriptions. And there was like one of them specifically that it was like, I'm blanking out. I was like doubting myself, and then like I did a sidebar. So like I was talking to the patient and then I did sidebar to the assessor. I am saying this because of this assumption. And I don't know if anyone has ever done that. I feel like that's a smart way to just kind of make sure that they're seeing where you're coming from, and they can look into that accordingly later when they look at like feedback and marks. But that's what I did. And then another one was something that involved an ethical dilemma. And I thought that the patient was a difficult patient that really wanted to use a drug. However, I wanted to be firm in my decision and protect patient interest and stuff. So I recommended against the product. However, apparently you were supposed to respect the patient's opinion. I don't know, it's one of those ethical things. Like, obviously, if something I don't feel comfortable with, I'm not going to recommend, but obviously it's up to the patient how they want to proceed. At the end of the day, my license is on the line and I don't want to be held responsible. So if I don't feel comfortable, I'm just going to be firm in it and they can do whatever they want. Maybe I was a little too firm on that. Maybe they were just giving me a prompt or giving me a hint, but that one I have no idea. And then the other one was a pharmaceutical opinion. So the prescription had an issue. I had to contact the prescriber. I literally ran out of time. Like, in the last 5 seconds, I scribbled down a drug and I didn't even complete the dosing regimen. Like, I literally just wrote the dose. I didn't say take it like daily or weekly or twice a day or 3 times a day. It is dosed once daily, but I didn't get the chance to write that, and it's so messy, it's so ugly. But at least I got something down and the drug works. And then my last station was a rest. And let me tell you, that rest station was the longest 7 minutes of my life. I was just contemplating and thinking about everything that went wrong. But we're done. We're done. Whatever happens, happens. It's out of my hands. I gave the best performance of my ability. We are done. We are done. This will be the very last time I'm standing in these halls until graduation. We're done. We're done. The biggest flex is that my campus has a cha time. Of course, we get the post-exam boba. I got a... I'm just having a brain fart. I've used too much of my brain today. This is a roasted milk tea with Kit Kat Crunch spread with pearl. It is 50% sugar and less ice. Finally home after a long 2-hour drive, but throughout the ride, I just couldn't help think and reflect about all that we've been through. You guys have been with me since January 2021, and we literally have gone through so much, and I look back at everything that encompassed this degree. Truthfully, a lot of trauma. Like, I have never experienced so much stress, anxiety, breakdowns. Like, I don't want to get like emotional, but like, this degree was so hard, and I made it through. You guys saw me every single step of the way, and I feel like I wouldn't have been able to continue if it wasn't for you guys. The comments and the support and the relatability. School is so hard no matter what degree or what industry you study. Like, we as students get put so much pressure, and I'm just so thankful that we've been able to create this community together so that we can go through it together. And it's all documented here. Tonight in bed, just looked through my old college finals week videos and looked through the comments, because so much has happened these past 4 years, and I cherish every single moment, even the breakdowns, and definitely the rejoices of passing the exams. It's been one hell of a ride. Thank you for sticking with me. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a like. Let me know in the comments where you guys are in your degree, because those that started with me back in 2021 will be graduating alongside with me this year. So I'd love to hear about that, if we're gonna be walking convocation together. And I'll see you guys next week for the live reaction to my grades. This will be the last reaction I do to my exams. I'm looking forward to doing that together. And if you want to see more from me, this hospital vlogs will be beginning, because I'm going to start my rotations. So I'm really excited to show you the different specialties that I'll be alternating in. And it's just going to be another chapter before it all closes and we get that PharmD. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.